The Earth and our ways of life are on the brink of collapse due to the past and present power plays of privileged white middle-aged men seeking security in sameness. So why listen to another one? I'm not what I seem, and I'd like to share the ways I've learnt to see diversity, those moments being composed of differing elements or qualities. I'll share how being a transient earthling of the quantum multiverse shocks me out of my ego to delight in nature's diversity. I'll talk about time travel and macrohistory as tools to see other perspectives, and how to unpack multi-layered life worlds to reveal diversity and holism. Our homes are where identity is cultivated and othering begins, that pattern recognition of difference and separation. But in a scalable universe where home is spaceship Earth under threat of nuclear war between nations, it makes more sense to embrace diverse peoples rather than separate them. In 1975, the first joint mission between the two Cold War rivals, known as the Handshake in Space, reshaped an 8-year-old's identity. I realized I am an Earthling on spaceship Earth, as well as an Italian-Australian Catholic preparing for the ritual of First Communion. Earthlings, surrender your restrictive weapons, those limiting armatures that cage your minds, isolating diverse voices in seconds. Within closed chambers, their echoes kept in binds. Sameness for security, no new heavens. Imagine all the people, Earthlings unwind, loosening their own fears in solidarity to seek compassion amongst diversity. I've always been curious about quantum physics since early university days, and quantum physics has taught me a lot. Quantum physics provides a new understanding of our world in 3 ways. 1. We can no longer separate mind from matter, the observer from the observed. 2. At the deepest subatomic level, we are all energy. We are one. 3. The world is made of events, not things, and is never known with certainty. As I watched this tree to draw it, my attention to its diversity and beauty grew as my objectivity and our separateness dissolved. The tree and I came into being from cosmic probability patterns. We then differentiated through our interactions, our connections, our happenings. As I seek to understand my nature, I become more mysterious. I don't know what or who I am with certainty, and that is as true as I'll ever be. I do know this, that with infinite space-time, life creates infinite diversity in infinite combinations. And that's a quote from Spock. I am nature and not separate from her. Waters flow between us. Minerals and proteins intermingle, my breath for plant breath. When we forget, rivers die, forests burn, and animals suffer. I practice a plant-based diet to honour the earth, my body, and the gifts we give each other. Botanist Robin Kimmerer says that reciprocity is the principle of evolution that generates biodiversity. J.B.S. Haldane, an evolutionary biologist, said that the principal characteristic of the universe is its inexhaustible queerness. Since queerness is most likely found throughout the universe, I practice receiving it gratefully as a gift when I sense it. So to give myself the opportunity to sense diversity, I walk slowly. I often look up and down, smell, touch, and listen. Another way I sense diversity is to time travel using macrohistory. Macrohistory is the search of grand patterns of change across diverse civilizations or cultures. Simplistically, there are 4 patterns of change: linear, cyclic, pendulum, and spiral. Over a 40-year time period, an issue like Australia's population immigration policy has caused cultural, political and urban tensions. About 5.6 million immigrants have made Australia home since 1970, including my wife, and this change seems linear, driving a big, diverse Australia. Now shift the time scale to see a different pattern of change. Prior to empire building, many global migrations were linked to climate events and conditions, such as the Ice Ages. A cycle appears, and so expect future diasporas, those displaced populations on the move caused by climate change, worsening the livelihoods of vulnerable peoples. To sense diversity in a situation, I take a deep dive into reality using CLA. This futures tool, created by Sohail Inayatullah, works on the assumption that reality is multi-layered. We can change our perception of reality by shifting our focus to a different layer. The iceberg is a good metaphor of the method. Like the iceberg, most of a situation or problem is unseen. Systemic relationships, cognitive, cultural and social barriers at the worldview level, and deeper myths or collective unconscious stories about it that provide meaning. This tool helps me unpack a complex problem and generate diverse truths and multi-layered responses. For example, changing the community's myth metaphor or story about plastic bags is crucial to successfully changing the world at the ideological and system levels to stop the pollution. I use Ken Wilber's integral model of cosmos to remind me to think holistically, to consider as an architect how I touch inner and outer worlds individually and collectively across the diverse dimensions of reality, the material, bioecological, sociocultural and metaphysical. My vision is to make holistic places using all the senses, because I believe our places are a mirror to our vision and values, to ourselves and to our relationship to the living cosmos. This is a daily practice that seeks to design for diversity. So, my placemaking approach involves the collaborative reconciliation process of sharing diverse ways of knowing to connect country, both natural and built landscapes, to cultures, evoke multi-sensory presence within space, and intertwine people's life worlds to each other.